Hey guys, Joe here at JP Details with the start of a new 4-part detailing series. In this series we are going to use this 2017 Mark III Focus RS as the demonstration vehicle, and we are going to cover the full decontamination process in part 1, paintwork correction in part 2, ceramic coating application in part 3, and then part 4 is going to be all about the finishing touches. The Focus RS arrived at my unit in a rather grubby condition, so firstly we need to complete all of the basic cleaning preparation stages first. As always, starting with the wheels, as A, they are the dirtiest areas and require us to use separate cleaning implements, and B, this dirt contains very small pieces of metal filings which are those that are given off from the brakes. The last thing that we want to do after cleaning the bodywork is to spray a fresh load of iron filings on there, which could potentially cause damage to the paintwork. There's a few good reasons why professional detailers clean wheels first, and I guess the ones I just mentioned are the most important ones. Get these areas clean first, including the arches and tyres, and then move to the bodywork. I use built amber Corusol on the wheels, which is an iron fallout remover, and various brushes from Wheel Woolies, a Swiss Fax wheel brush, a Martin Cox narrow brush, a sheepskin wash mitt, the Easy Detail Go-Go brush for the arches, and the Tough Shine tyre brush for the tyre walls. I use Valet Pro All-Purpose Cleaner diluted 4:1 to clean the arches and tyres, which is my new go-to all-purpose cleaner because it's just as effective as Maguire's APC, but a fraction of the price. I now opt to use iron fallout remover straight out of the bag when detailing wheels. Considering wheels are mainly contaminated with say 95% of iron fallout, then it makes sense to use an iron fallout remover specific chemicals to clean them. Let's say if the wheels haven't been cleaned in some time, which includes the inner barrels, then a second hit of iron fallout remover and agitation with the wheel brushes is going to remove even the most stubborn of brake dust. The Focus RS has only covered 7,000 miles and is only 1 year old, so a single yet thorough going over with built amber Corusol brought them up nicely. Talk about going the extra mile, then with all my details I'll clean behind the spokes and also the brake calipers, even if the car isn't receiving a wheels off detail. These are the nice touches which don't always go recognised, but whilst you're there you may as well. After the iron fallout stage for the wheels, they aren't fully detailed just yet as we still need to remove any rotar deposits from them, but we will do that when we detail the bodywork. The first step for the bodywork is to gently rinse using the Kranzel K7 to begin softening and removing dirt and grime. Also at this point, I'll open each door and using the technique explained by the car cleaning guru in his DIY door shut detailing guide, I'm going to make sure all large pieces of debris are removed from the door shuts. The pre-rinse stage is particularly useful for removing debris from the panel gaps, crevices and badges, and also the entire vehicle in general. If you can imagine jumping straight to snow foam and then the detail brush stage, which we'll get to shortly, then there's a good chance that you will pick up some of that debris in your brushes and potentially cause damage to the paintwork. This pre-rinse stage is going to remove large foreign bodies from the paintwork prior to the detail brush stage for paintwork safety in mind. I need to apologise for the wind noise in various stages of the outside preparation work footage. As it turns out, the 90 quid Rode Go-Go Video Mic Pro for the DSLR isn't very good. Looks like I may need to invest in the £200 plus one. Also, this is my first time blanking out registration plates whilst editing a video, so you'll have to bear with me, although they don't stay on there for long. The next step is to blanket the vehicle in snow foam to further soften and remove the dirt particles. My most favoured snow foam is Built Amber Auto Foam, as I find it to be the most effective snow foam that I've tried to date. Other benefits of using snow foam are that it will soak into all the gaps and crevices and soften dirt and grime that even a detail brush won't remove. You need to remember that with every stage we are stepping one step closer to a professionally detailed vehicle. If we complete each stage with tools and products that are designed to make our work easier and better, then it will show in the end result. Whilst the snow foam dwells on the bodywork, this is a perfect time to crack out the Swissvax detail brush and all-purpose cleaner and go round all of the nooks and crannies. We want to make sure that every last bit of dirt and debris is removed from the hard to get to areas, as our wash mitts aren't going to fit, and we need the focus 100% clean. If you can imagine not doing the detail brush stage, then there's a good chance there will still be bits of debris stuck in the hard to get to areas. When machine polishing, a lot of vibrations are caused, which could potentially pop a few bits of, let's say, sand out, which would then get smeared around the paintwork causing damage. The detail brush stage is also ideal to give all non-painted surfaces their first clean, such as plastic trim and exhaust tips. This will make our life easier when we come to hand wash the vehicle, as we only need to concentrate on the paintwork. After the detail brush stage, I'll apply another layer of snow foam to the bodywork and pressure rinse after a 5-minute dwell. This time we want to pressure wash the vehicle thoroughly and ultimately get it as clean as we can before we make direct contact with the paintwork. Using the 2-bucket method, Valet Pro Prep Shampoo and a G-Technic wash mitt, I'll methodically clean the exterior, making sure I don't miss a spot. Wash the vehicle from the roof down and always use a secondary wash mitt for the lowest parts to make sure your good wash mitts stay good. The vehicle was thoroughly rinsed to remove the suds before cleaning the door shuts and sills. In hindsight, I should have cleaned the door shuts and sills straight after the wheels and before starting the bodywork, but live and learn. There isn't much of a difference which way round you do it. I'll use my Swissvax detail brush and all-purpose cleaner to get into all of the tight areas of the door shuts. You don't want to remove the grease from the hinges, but it's a nice touch to remove the grease from around the hinges, and depending how gunked up they are, you may need some degreaser. Although I found the all-purpose cleaner worked a treat on the Focus RS's door shuts. To reduce the risk of causing marring to the door shuts, make sure you thoroughly pressure rinse the areas first, and then use lots of all-purpose cleaner to act as a lubricant. A soft detail brush and lots of soapy suds are going to allow you to clean the painted surfaces without causing damage. When rinsing door shuts, there is a technique, and this is to angle the stream of water in a way that it doesn't go into the car. It takes a bit of practice, but it isn't rocket science. Just make sure you have a microfiber towel ready to wipe off any overspray from the interior surfaces. The first decontamination stage for the bodywork is tar deposit removal. Select your favourite tar remover, which mine happens to be Auto Smart TARDIS, and begin removing those blobs of road tar from one panel at a time. If the vehicle is heavily contaminated, then it may require 2 or 3 hits, but luckily for me this 2017 Focus RS just needed a good and simple, single thorough wipe over. With black being the hardest colour to spot road tar deposits, it really was a case of being incredibly thorough. After the vehicle's main bodywork is complete, I'll remove the tar deposits from all the lowest areas before turning to the wheels and removing the tar deposits from the spokes using the same process that we saw on the bodywork. After the whole tar deposit removal is being completed, I'll thoroughly pressure wash the vehicle to remove all final traces of the chemicals before moving to decon stage 2. Decontamination stage 2 is the iron fallout stage to remove ferrous contaminants, or very small metal particles. Ferrous contaminants are a type of industrial fallout, so things like railway tracks, the brake rotors, and even industrial fallout from industrial businesses like metalworks release these metal particles into the air, which can then settle on your paintwork. Even when it rains, there's an element of industrial fallout due to how badly polluted our planet is. The iron fallout stage is very important, just like all of the other stages in a detail, so the ceramic coating can make a 100% bond to the paintwork with no contamination in between. The iron fallout product is allowed to dwell on the paintwork for up to 10 minutes, depending on the weather and temperature. Once it's been given adequate time to dwell, the vehicle is thoroughly pressure rinsed. Something that not all detailers do, but something I like to do, is to apply a final layer of snow foam after the chemical decontamination is complete to make sure we remove every last trace of the decontamination chemicals. The snow foam is applied and allowed to dwell for 5 minutes before being thoroughly pressure rinsed. Outside wet work done, it's time to bring the RS into the unit. Clay bar stage using a Maguire's clay bar and Maguire's Last Touch quick detailer. I'll rub this little piece of automotive clay across the paintwork with a light pressure to remove any final traces of contamination, such as tree sap, bug etchings, bird lime and anything else that the other two decon stages didn't remove. Every square inch of paintwork, including the windows, headlights and rear lights, are clay barred, making sure I don't miss a spot. There's no rocket science with clay barring, it's a simple case of making sure the paintwork is super smooth, which means it's contaminant free. The most important parts of the clay bar stage are to use lots of clay lube for safe lubrication and to refold the clay bar whenever it starts getting clogged up with contaminants. Don't use anything more than light to medium pressure. If there's tough contamination that isn't coming off, then you will need to use a more aggressive clay bar. After claying a couple of panels at a time, I'll take a microfiber Madness, waffle weave drying towel and dry the paintwork. The Maguire's clay combo worked an absolute treat and I had the whole car clayed in around an hour and a half. The Metro Vac blower removes trapped water from hard to get to areas, which is going to ensure we don't get any interference from H2O whilst machine polishing. I used the 4 horsepower Metrovac blower and removed trapped water from every last applicable area on the car, including door handles, door runners, indicators, lights, grills, petrol cap area, door shuts and sills, wheels, and all panel gaps and surrounds, literally everywhere. The final stage before inspecting the paintwork is to wipe down using IPA to remove any gloss enhancers or previous wax or polish residue. Maguire's Last Touch spray detailer does contain gloss enhancers, and I found that after using IPA the paintwork loses its ultra slick feel. This means we are now going to be able to inspect the paintwork to see the true level of defects that we'll be up against whilst machine polishing, with no detailing products filling them in or covering them up. Taping up all plastic trim is essential when machine polishing for obvious reasons. Polish stains plastic trim, so by covering them up will mean there won't be any polish stains. Also, by giving the exterior an IPA wipe down will mean that the 3M tape will stick better. The low tack nature of the 3M tape will also mean that when we finish the paintwork we can simply take the tape off and dress the trim without any further prep work required, as it's already been done. The rear number plate was taken off, the front one was left on as it's fitted onto plastic trim so there isn't any paintwork underneath to polish and protect. I used IPA to clean behind the rear number plate in preparation for polishing and protecting later on in the detail. I'm going to draw part 1 to a close now as the Focus RS is fully prepared for the correctional machine polishing stages, which will be continued in part 2. Part 2 starts off with the paintwork inspection, measuring the depth of the paintwork, and then the full correctional process to get it ready for a 5-year multi-layer ceramic coating. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Drop the video a like and make sure you go and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Just search JP Details. Although my social medias are linked in the video's description below. I'll hopefully catch you in the next one.